This is what the narcissist never expected you to do, which will make them regret it for the rest of their lives. Thank you everyone for watching this video. Surprisingly, there are several actions that narcissists never anticipated you would take. So please show your support by liking, subscribing, and sharing if you enjoy the content. However, this video focuses on the most unexpected action they never thought you would take. Before I disclose that, let's reflect on your experiences with the narcissist. Which relationship was this, and how did it impact you? In what ways have you been permanently changed? You found yourself in a relationship with a toxic, narcissistic individual without being aware of what narcissism was, mainly due to a lack of education. Initially, you attributed the issues in the relationship to just having bad days, thinking the person had their own problems and was perhaps playing the victim or mistreating you. Despite this, you couldn't fully grasp the situation and continued to invest in the relationship. Over time, you gave away your time, money, energy, effort, love, empathy, status, social connections, finances, and even your health, depleting yourself in the process. This happened because you were excessively giving and supporting a relationship that was unproductive. The narcissist was essentially sabotaging your efforts, aiming to make your life difficult while they had another plan lined up for themselves. The cycle of narcissistic abuse involves scenarios where one person gives excessively, while the narcissist keeps taking without limits. Narcissists have a destructive impact on everything they encounter in their lives. Despite what others may suggest, my personal observations indicate that narcissists have a distinct way of thinking. They approach situations differently, lack the ability to reflect on themselves like you do, and do not hold themselves accountable like you might. Instead of personal growth, they prefer to exploit others, drain them of resources, discard them when they are no longer useful, and move on to the next target. It's important to note that the new target is typically another individual. Keep in mind that the narcissist likely fled from a previous relationship to seek refuge in your companionship. Once they have obtained what they desired from you, they will move on to someone else who may lack knowledge, insight, or may even be a toxic narcissist themselves. This new target could be a recycled individual from a past relationship, a former acquaintance, or someone the narcissist wishes to manipulate once again. These elements all contribute to the abusive cycle perpetuated by narcissists. It's crucial to understand that this cycle will persist, with the narcissist remaining the consistent factor throughout. They are aware that their mental state confines them, that their anxiety-ridden existence is a trap, and that they constantly shift their personas. They acknowledge that they wear masks to control people, and at times they recognize their own insincerity. Their desire to feel superior to others stems from this realization. When you left the narcissist's home, you were unsure of what to expect. It felt like dealing with Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, like an emotional roller coaster. The nature of your relationship with them was always unclear. However, when you searched online for "a spouse won't talk to me" or verbal abuse, you finally found some answers. This was your first breakthrough. As you continued on your journey, you learned more about yourself and about narcissists. They never thought you would realize their true nature. They underestimated your intelligence and ability to research, just as they had done when the relationship began. Think back to when you first met the narcissist. They were likely assessing you, trying to understand your motivations, assets, dreams, and relationships. They wanted to profile you. One day, they decided that you would be their next source of fuel. They planned to use you as their engine, whether it be for a short period or a long one. Their intention was to get close to you and either make you fall in love with them or become their friend. However, they had ulterior motives. They wanted to manipulate, abuse, and deceive you while hiding behind a false facade. They were aware that your well-being and resources would suffer as long as you were with them, as they had done this before. Eventually, their resources would run out, and they would move on to another source of fuel. If you ever tried to leave, they believed you would never recover. Watch the video again to understand the abuse they put you through and how they knew it would eventually lead to your departure or theirs. Alternatively, you could remain trapped in a narcissistic haze. You understand what I'm saying? If you were present in that situation, please comment below. Your presence is significant. You are connected to the narcissist because you feel constantly drained and defeated. The narcissist didn't anticipate your recovery, your comprehension of narcissism, your commitment to radical acceptance, and your realization of your own abundance, beauty, and inner light. The narcissist deceived, ensnared, and controlled you into believing you couldn't survive without them. This is known as the trauma bond. You were constantly manipulated, pushed away, and then pulled back in. It felt like an emotional roller coaster because you were always destabilized. You were never able to find your footing. Each interaction with a narcissist, whether by phone call, text, or email, left you uncertain of what to expect. There was no stability. The narcissist purposely kept you off balance to re-establish the trauma bond. Dealing with the trauma bond is extremely challenging because you were never educated about narcissism. It caught you off guard. You struggled to comprehend why everything was falling apart and felt like an empty shell. The narcissist was consuming you. Things went awry both day and night. Your mind was occupied with thoughts of them, and your responses to their messages were delayed. You would pause your current activity to explain your actions, plans, and intentions. The narcissist would typically respond with, okay, K, or great, sometimes choosing not to reply at all. Have you experienced this scenario? Share your thoughts. They devalued you for simply sharing your activities and plans. You were seen as an unpaid assistant, a constant source of apologies, and an endless list of tasks. You were stuck in a cycle of narcissistic manipulation or trauma bonding, consistently reporting back to the narcissist. You were deliberately kept in the dark, placed in that position intentionally. Your devaluation only increased once you were in that role. The narcissist grew disinterested and tired of you. You were ensnared, becoming the target of their pursuit, capture, and manipulation. The days of being seen as a mere possession by narcissists are over. They would treat you like a doll or a prized item, using you at their whim and discarding you back on the shelf. This behavior led to their disappearing acts for hours, days, or even entire weekends in relationships. During these absences, they were likely seeking out new sources of attention or validation from others. These sources could range from friends, social groups, travel, possessions, or any other means of gratification. Narcissistic supply typically involves romantic partners or friends, but it could also extend to family members or siblings. However, the narcissist never anticipated that you would gather your strength, educate yourself about narcissism, understand its impact on you, and prioritize your own well-being. Whether you were discarded or ended the relationship yourself, my sympathies are with you for enduring a toxic connection for so long. Experiencing the abusive cycle of a narcissist is a challenge that not everyone faces, but you have overcome it. Number 1, finding that needle in the haystack is crucial. Just like one pine needle among many behind me on the trees or ground. Discovering that one needle in the haystack can unlock your future and free you from a toxic, narcissistic relationship. The narcissist never wanted to be understood or for you to heal. They didn't want you to have a breakthrough or realize that toxic narcissists are not who they claim to be. They abuse people, hide behind masks, and keep them in a trance. But you escaped. You are healing, learning, growing, and possibly teaching others. You are awakening, learning, and empowered. You know that you come first, second, and third, not the narcissist. The narcissist deceived and trapped you, but you have broken free. Now understand that your narcissist never wanted closure. They cannot provide closure because they refuse to introspect, be accountable, or take blame. They believe they are always right and never make mistakes. But like everyone else, the narcissist makes mistakes every day. Narcissists struggle to admit their mistakes due to their limited cognitive capacity. This behavior perpetuates their abusive patterns. Narcissists remain the consistent element in this cycle, fully aware of it. Their aim is to deceive and manipulate individuals for personal gain, only to discard them like disposable items once their purpose is served. Consequently, narcissists have few enduring friendships or relationships. The offspring of narcissists often distance themselves as they recognize the mistreatment they endured. They reject manipulation and grow weary of the constant victim narrative. Despite these challenges, they manage to heal and move on, acknowledging the toxicity of the past relationship. Narcissists consistently fail in relationships, both past and present, driven by an insatiable hunger for attention, material possessions, and new conquests. They know they can never be satisfied, and you do too. The narcissist never thought you would heal. The answer is that you weren't expected to survive that relationship. They believed you would never be strong enough to repair yourself. They didn't think you could tell who they were. They didn't think you would survive alone after discard during a pandemic, multiple surgeries, a mountain of credit card debt, no car, and inability to function due to isolation. Because the narcissists used the smear campaign, and your support network exploded without anyone checking on you. Nobody said, "Hey, how you doing? Do you want to grab a coffee and discuss?" That happened to me and many others. This is why narcissists act so easily. They slither away at night or vanish quickly. Why? Because they took what they could. They refused to sit down, drink coffee, reflect, and be accountable. They can't because their weak brains prevent it. They're childlike because of that. So, they're stuck in their own misery and wanted to keep you there too. Think about what I'm saying. Imagine you were left by someone. Why? What happened? If a self-centered person took everything from you, they found someone new. That's true. Also, what did they do? They left you before. The self-centered person might have tried to reconnect with you sometimes. Don't let them. It's a good thing if you didn't get back together with them. That shows you're strong, healing, and the self-centered person has moved on. Everything I'm sharing was when you were rejected. Think about your lowest point. You were close to the bottom. Maybe you went through a very difficult time. Maybe you even considered doing things you never thought you would. But you know what? It's great that you found a way out of a difficult situation, learned, used tools, and contributed to the community. You live another day to help others. You are realizing that the relationship almost destroyed you. It didn't. It failed like self-centered people always do. Yes, I'm repeating myself a few times in this video, because I want you to understand that where you are now is different from where you were a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, or 5 years ago. Today, life is full of changes. Your energy levels fluctuate daily, weekly, and monthly. By distancing yourself from narcissists and reducing the toxicity of narcissistic relationships, you'll grow stronger. If you are trapped in a trauma bond, it's crucial to break free and understand that maintaining no contact is the best approach. If avoiding contact is impossible, employ the gray rock method or simply be uninteresting. Remember this: the narcissist never believed you could heal. They perceived you as weak, lacking faith, energy, strength, finances, support, or anything else. Despite all the harm they caused, they doubted your ability to thrive. If you stumbled, consider their motives. What would prompt them to move on to another relationship? They might claim, "You were too weak." Good riddance. So every negative statement they made about you was rooted in truth. I hope you grasp this truth. Narcissists don't want you to heal, neither in the past, present, nor future. They aim to conceal their toxicity from you. Once you see through their facade, you establish boundaries. Your focus shifts from pleasing others to asserting yourself. You can confidently say no, a powerful word. By refusing, you affirm your self-worth. Rejecting narcissists repels them. They struggle to handle it. People disapprove. They can't dominate. They may react with anger, among other things. This is your strength. Saying no, identifying the truth, and acknowledging that the relationship was a valuable lesson. You had no other option. If you've endured toxic relationships, recognize that you've emerged stronger by breaking free from the cycle of narcissistic abuse. You have shown how strong you are. Whether you are doing well or still recovering, remember that you have support. Keep in mind that the narcissist never thought you would heal, but you have. Let this be the start of your healing process. If you are liking my content, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You little effort can make my whole day. Keep supporting so that I can come up with more such interesting videos to keep you motivated throughout your journey to become your best self. Thank you for listening, and take care.